Hello, River City Church. Jared Davis here, and I hope everyone is doing well. I've interacted with some of you this week and had more and more conversations, visited another city group, and it's just exciting to meet more and more people in the church. And I know that we are all still in lockdown. That is still a reality, but we've started to open up and spread out a little bit. And some of you have even dared to go to restaurants and things of that nature. And some of you are beginning to ask, so what's this going to look like for the church? And when are we going to reopen? And some of you feel like that should happen soon. Some of you feel like that should happen later. And some of you are kind of in the middle. And some of you would like to have more conversations about it and think about it. And there's just all these different opinions and perspectives, obviously and rightly so. I just want to encourage you that as all the churches in Jacksonville are trying to answer this question, I've communicated with some other pastors in the city in the last couple of weeks. And as churches all over the country are asking this question in one way, shape, or form, as the leadership here at River City, specifically our elders and staff team, begin to dig more deeply into the conversation of what it looks like to reopen, I just want to encourage you in something as we do that. So, if I'm going to read a verse, Ephesians 4, verses 1 through 3. I therefore, this is Paul speaking, I therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit and the bond of peace. And as we re-engage, and let me tell you, of all the things that have been interesting for me to think through in this transition from my perspective, leading this church back together in a gathering format is perhaps the weirdest or the trickiest thing that I've had to encounter. But we're going to do it, and we're going to see this through. We're going to be back together, and we're praying for God's wisdom and God's timing on that. But as we do that, I want you to be eager to maintain unity. Okay, you can be eager to be heard. You can be eager to have things go the way that you think they should go. You can be eager to discuss. You can be eager to argue. There are so many things that you could be eager to pursue during this season. And all of those are not necessarily bad things, but I would call us to our strongest level of eager. Our most eager disposition would be to maintain the unity, to maintain our bond that comes through the Holy Spirit. So let's think about this season with humility. I can tell you this, myself, the staff, leadership, everyone wants to do what's right for River City. So step one is going to be a survey that we're going to send out to the church. It's anonymous because we want you to feel freedom to be as honest as you possibly can. So be looking out over the next couple of days for a survey from us specifically about our returning to the church in person in light of lockdown slowly but surely coming to an end. Okay, guys, just a few updates and announcements, things going on. First of all, we kicked off Alpha last Sunday, and it was a great success. I mean, we had people from 2 different states outside of Florida. We had someone from another country that joined our Zoom call as we explored questions of faith, life, meaning. Is there more to life than this? You go, oh, I would have loved to have gotten in on that. You still can. Alpha is not one of those things where if you miss the first week, you can't show up the second week. Opt in. Maybe say, oh man, I wish I would have invited this friend, or they couldn't make it to the first one. Invite them to the second week. This Sunday, online at 5 o'clock, we're going to do another Alpha Zoom. And it was just a great time. We had some people say, hey, you know what? I was really nervous about doing this, especially over Zoom, but I'm so glad that I did. I had someone else text me and say, I feel like I'm refreshed to face this next week just from the conversations we had. So it's going to be awesome. Tell your friends, sign up and join our Alpha Conversations this Sunday at 5 o'clock. Hey, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is giving. First of all, let me say thank you. You guys have remained faithful in giving. And, the way I like to think about giving is, yes, there are needs to be met. Yes, there's a mission to go forward. Yes, there are things that we are doing in the city. Yes, there's staff. Yes, there's facilities. Yes, there's other churches and works that we support. And all of those things are really good reasons to continue our giving. But personally, for myself, Jocelyn and I, we always want to remember that first and foremost, when we give, it's something between us and God. We're seeking to honor Him. We want, when the Old Testament talks about the fear of God, it doesn't mean fear like you're running around afraid of Him, like He's going to get you or something. It means this deep reverence to honor God with the first of all that we have. And when I talk about giving and when I think about giving, that's the way I think about it and process it. So I would encourage you to continue in that, continue in your faithfulness in giving, even during this season. Thank you. Then last but not least, a couple of reminders. The first is this. We do prayer every Wednesday morning on Zoom at 7:30. You can find the link on our website, or we have it right here for you. All you have to do is click on the Zoom link and we will let you in. And you can stay as long as you want. You can join late. Some people feel like, well, what if I'm late for prayer? What if I can't get there until 7:50 or 8 o'clock? That's okay. People will still be in the Zoom call. They will still be praying. So join in and pray with us. Also, we're doing it now on Wednesday evenings at 8:30. So you can pray on Wednesday morning at 7:30, or you can pray on Wednesday evenings at 8:30. I would encourage you to join those calls. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you about is your video testimonies. So we love testimonies in this church. That's something that Jocelyn and I have learned to appreciate really quickly about River City, is that you guys value sharing what God is doing in you and through you, and the way that the Holy Spirit is showing up in your life, personally, corporately, however that might look. So we want to ask that you continue to send those in. We do ask, though, because we're trying to keep everything as tight as we can in a pre-recorded format, because we know that you guys can only sit down in front of the TV for so long. We ask that you try to make those video testimonies 1 minute or less. I know that can be hard. Trust me, it's hard to shorten what you want to say. I experience it all the time. But we ask that you do your best as you send those in to make them 1 minute or less, because we definitely want to continue to hear the stories of God's goodness in our church. All right, guys, have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you online Sunday.